Alright fam, welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about the aftermath of the FOMC, but most importantly, I'm going to share with you my exact trades, where I'm getting in, what I'm doing, how the chart's moving. We're going to look at 10, 15 tokens, 10, 15 entries. I can't be here in person, so this is a pre-record. If you could smash the like button, share it, comment, I would truly appreciate it, so it helps the algo to get out there. Otherwise, I think it is time to get in. We do have a bunch of trades that are, I think, primed for a massive breakout, a massive pump, so let's get going. If you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe and I bring you the best trades. The whole idea is that you can watch this show, you will be up to date with news, you will be up to date with trades, you will be up to date with everything you need to know in the market in 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day. So let's get going with that. Well, first of all, the market is taking this interestingly. So the market is like very mixed, and this is due to some of the uncertainties that are happening in the Middle East, some of the uncertainties, and not necessarily a clear direction for the Fed. And this is what I'm gonna share with you today, what has really happened and why that is interesting. Now, I said JP will be dovish. I tweeted this and I said JP will be dovish, meaning he will be much more bullish than usual. And the reason why I thought that was going to happen is because there is no reason for him to not be. And if you look at, I have a Telegram, it's completely free. There's a link in the description to all my links, my X and everything. And in there, I keep you posted about trades and everything else. And we have about 6,000 people in there. And I tweeted immediately when it happened, I said, rates unchanged as expected, waiting for the press conference. And then we get news about the dot plot. Now, it's interesting that there are FOMC events when there are dot plots happening, meaning the 12 FOMC members, I think there's 20 something FOMC members. How much is that? 17, 19. It's 19. Sorry, it's 19 FOMC members. So the 19 FOMC members do a dot plot, meaning they mark it on a chart where they see inflation, or where they see interest rates headed this year. And so if you look at it, 7 Fed officials said there is not going to be a rate cut in 2025. 2 said there was going to be 1. 8 said there was going to be 2, and 2 said there was going to be 3. Now, it's important to note that if you compare that to the previous dot plot, which happened in March, they said that rates will most likely come under 4%, which would have meant that they have to cut at least 3 or 4 times. Now, comparatively to that, now the rates are priced in at between 4.25 and 4.5, which is what we see now. And then a portion of that goes below 4. Why? Because if they cut, so now we're at 425, 450, right? Percent. Now, if they decide to cut at least 2 times, which is exactly what we see here, and this is exactly what I tweeted here. 10 officials see at least 2 cuts this year. That means that there are 4 events remaining this year, and the 4 events are gonna be July, September, October, and December. They have to cut. If they cut 2 times, which is most likely because that's what most of the officials predict, they're going to have to cut at least 50% of the FOMC meetings. That means that we are going to see rate cuts, which is super bullish for the crypto market specifically and risk assets as well. So it is going to happen. Now, what is interesting is, and the uncertainty comes from the fact that there is GDP estimates lowered. GDP meaning how much the country produces, and because they lowered it to 1.4%, that means that the Fed is not as bullish on the economy. But that can also be understood in a decently bullish manner, because this is what they wanted. They didn't want the economy to boom so they can reduce rates, so there is no inflation. So if they reduce the GDP estimate to 1.4%, that in my mind means that they're kind of achieving their targets. And they lifted expectations of inflation, which is not good. So this 3%, the target for them is 2% for them to start cutting. Now we are very close to 2%, and they increased that to 3%, mostly because they are, mostly because of uncertainties, mostly because of the tariff uncertainties, to be honest. The interesting data is that last time the US data was this week, the Fed had to cut 50 basis points, which again, if they cut 2 times 25 on 2 of the FOMCs, is exactly 50. So we can see a 50 to 75 basis point cut this year, especially if the tariff situation gets resolved and if the conflict in the Middle East gets resolved as well. Now, Trump is going apeshit on Powell. He literally goes out and he says, too late, Powell is the worst, a real dummy who's costing America billions of dollars. Now, Powell should cut rates or quit. Now his term comes to an end next year, May. He's not going to quit now, but he has his reasons for not cutting, right? He's been driving the whole thing. He doesn't want to be fast because Trump is pressuring. But also, I mean, there is a reason to cut. Inflation is going. I don't know why people say there is no reason. Inflation has been coming up. Unemployment has been going up. Inflation has been coming down. Unemployment has been going up. Except the tariffs and the Middle East conflict, there's not really a reason. And so I even posted in a Telegram here, and I said this is the most important sentence from the whole FOMC for me, which was that the JP said that the Fed is watching Israel and Iran conflict. We possibly will see higher energy prices, but don't generally tend to have lasting effect on inflation. That is insanely bullish, you know, because that means that there is no, you know, all the concerns about oil prices going up and then potentially inflation follows. It's gone. JP basically just confirmed that that is not the concern of the Fed. So the only concern, the only uncertainty is the tariffs, which is most likely going to get sorted. Now, I brought this summary here. They leave the rate unchanged for full straight meeting. Fed says uncertainty has diminished, but it's elevated. Of course, Fed lowers 2025 GDP estimate to 1.4% and inflation to up to 3%. Median Fed forecast shows 50 basis points of rate cuts in 2025, which should happen. This should happen. Median Fed forecast showed rates at 3.6% in 2026 and 3.4% in 2017. Now, this is complete bollocks. Like I'm telling you now, in May, Trump is going to put on a new Fed chair, and this thing is going to drop to sub 3, 2.5%. I guarantee you that. I mean, guarantee meaning, you know, I can't guarantee anything, but I believe that is exactly what is going to happen. Interest rates future increases likelihood of rate cuts beginning in September. Okay, interest rate futures increases likelihood of rate cuts beginning in September. Yeah, so that said, there is the next meeting happening in July. There is a 91% chance of no change. And then in September, the market is pricing in. Let's see what it prices in. The price is in a 25% basis cut in September, and then prices in another 25% basis cut in December, right? It's 47 to change exactly, and then in December. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting, and we'll see what is going to happen. Now, my main key takeaway from the Fed FOMC is, no matter who says what, this is what I believe and what I read from the data, is that the most important takeaway is, one, 10 FOMC members see at least 2 cuts, which means we're gonna have 50 basis points this year, which is super freaking bullish. Last time it happened, we saw what happened with Bitcoin. Absolute bollock, you know, just massive pump. And there's 4 FOMC left in the year, and then the Israel-Iran war has no persistent impact on inflation. So that's also extremely bullish for me, because that's the thing that we've been discussing, whether oil prices will have the 𝗙𝗟𝗎 channel, whether that will be closed and the oil prices will go up and that reflect inflation and basically diminish the whole thing the Fed did. But that's not a concern for the Fed. Now, Trump has apparently given approved attack plans on Iran, but had not filed the final, but has withheld the final order. So it seems like that there is going to happen an intervention, probably during the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have to see, but it is expected the markets will not take it very good. I think we're gonna have an initial dip, but I do believe that is probably the bottom, or just a very good opportunity to just buy. If Iran oil is cut off, China will pay the price. The problem is that it's not, I mean, problem for her, but the other concern that China is going to, you know, China announced that if the US gets involved, China will feel that they need to get involved as well. The thing is, it's not good for China to have the 𝗙𝗟𝗎 closed, so they will suffer the most. They have the largest imports from Iranian oil. So you see, I don't think this is going to be anything happening there. That said, let's look at some of my trades. So this is what I'm doing. I am still low. So I told you about this. Again, if you don't know, my name is Fefe. I bring you, as I said, I bring you these news, I bring you these updates. And I have a trading channel where I literally do trading. I do trading education and much more. I did just a video here. I want to show the beginning of this. You are an addict. She was telling me you're an addict. And I'm like, why am I an addict? It's because you're bringing money back to the trading desk without understanding how to actually execute these trades properly. But let's say you make it into 6,000. What are you going to think? I mean, this is what people don't understand. You don't need money to learn how to trade. A good trade is not a profitable trade. A good trade is a trade that you executed following your strategy. So I do these educational videos and much more. There is a link in the description, but you can see it here, the 100x Club. We're also gonna pin it in the comment section below, so you will be able to see it. Go and check it out, subscribe. I do have a bunch of stuff coming here, but here I explain why I'm taking these trades, and the reason is because I do believe there is going to be a pump. I also said here, I'll load it up. I said reasoning. I've taken a so long and all the trades in the Telegram that I shared. And so I am long, and the way I'm long is either I'm scalp long and I have a massive, so you see a 50x long here, but I have a calculated stop loss placed right here, or I'm just building up position on 5x, 3x, as you see down here. And I'm building up these positions, and the reason why I'm building these up because these are going to be for the next leg up. So this is how I'm planning. I do think that you have to be positioning yourself now, and I do think there is a massive pump coming. The question is, where does that pump come? And this is what we have to understand. So ultimately, on the lower time frame, on a higher time frame, you can look at the 4-hour chart, and my thought process, which I have been saying for a long time now since we put this low in, is that this low down here, 3.1 trillion, this right here in the total market cap, should hold. Why? Because this is the daily low. Again, on the 100x Club, if you check that, or even any other show here, I have mentioned this multiple times. We have a daily high here. This is a very strong daily high right here. 4 consecutive candles to the upside, liquidity to the downside, and then immediate V-shaped recovery. This is a very strong level. Also came back to the 50% on the ultimate leg. So this is like a very strong level. And if you look at this level should hold at 3.1 trillion. That means that maybe we're gonna liquidate this down here like this, but this ultimately is your low. So if you take any long positions, you can consider this to hold, in my honest opinion, right? So I went into the lower time frames yesterday, and I saw that there is a market structure shift, which is basically a higher high here. I don't trade with indicators, I don't trade with bots and all that. I trade with looking at market structure, understanding volume, understanding institutional flows. And this is how I plan my trades. This is how I execute my trades. So this is why my chart is very clean. All I use is sessions. That's what I use sometimes. So you see a higher high here. This is yesterday. This is when I took the Sol scalp, because I saw this higher high form yesterday, right? And so this is a very strong indication that there's going to be a pump happening here. And then we even see a retest, but there's no close below, which is a very strong indicator that this level is holding. Yes, there's liquidity sweep, which is even better because that means that everything left there is gone. Now liquidity is above and full pain is above. That means what I'm expecting is a pump right into this OB up here at like 3.31 trillion, and then we're gonna reevaluate. But for now, I'm looking for long positions, and my stop loss is going to be either at these lows or the daily lows, depending on if I'm layering into a position on 5 to 3x or I'm taking scalps. Now I want to show you the charts. Let's jump in here. One of the things obviously want to look at is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, very simply, I'm layering into Bitcoin on 3x. You can have an entry even here. I think it does make sense. Next entry could be below this low at 102,700, because potentially we're gonna do this. But this down here, the 100,000 level, should hold. So this is the Bitcoin trade. Ethereum, I have a hedge short open because you always have to hedge. Hedging the position it could be super important, especially when you're layering in like me on 3x, 5x. I have this Ethereum position here, $425, 21% profit here. The reason why I opened this is because, again, I'm building up 3 to 5x leverage positions. And if we start nuking here, ETH, for example, can really fall back down here to the 50%, down here at like the 2,000 level. The 17% up, it's 170% on the trade. I have about $2,000 in this as margin, so I would make about $4,000, $5,000, which would offset some of the losses that I have, and then I can just layer more back into the positions. This is the idea behind my short, but I'm keeping this open. I'm not even set if it gets stopped, because that means we're pumping. I do believe we're gonna pump on ETH up to the 2.76. This is why this is a hedge, and you gotta take it as such. Solana, a beautiful retrace here. Again, from this level, we did have a very strong close above here. So from this 140 level, then we have another bounce, and I do believe that this level will hold very strongly, 104T. The problem, if it does not hold, especially with the ETF news and the ETF narrative, I think it should hold. If it does not hold, I do believe that we're going to come lower. First level 137, second level is 126, all the way down here to 100. But I do not think that is going to happen. I actually think Solana is going to be one of the best responders when it happens. I took a massive Solana position. I took it on 50x, not a lot of money. It's at $1,200. My stop loss is down here at open this one up. This is Bluefin, by the way, guys. If you want a reliable non-KYC exchange available worldwide and non-custodial, meaning it is custodial because you push your money in or you put your money into trade, but they custody Fireblocks, which is a third-party custodian. If they go bankrupt, if they go under, if they get hacked, your money is safe at a third-party custodian, one of the largest custodians out there, Fireblocks. So there's a link in the description. They have a bunch of bonuses. Go and check them out. My stop loss is down here at 104. I'm actually gonna bring this here. 141. Yeah, that should be good. 141 is my stop loss down here. It should be a little bit lower here. 140, but it's fine. It's somewhere here. So I'm gonna move it a little bit down here. 140.6. Okay. So I have that position open. I'm super bullish. I think that's going to happen. BNB, again, higher high retest. I always say this to my students as well, is that you have a higher high form and in an impulsive manner, and then you do have this elevator coming up and stairs coming down. This is a good indication that this is a buying opportunity. So again, like this low should hold. It liquidated everything that you had. It came back literally 50% on the major leg. If you look at this, came back 50% on the major leg. Very, very bullish. I think BNB could be a great buy here. And actually, I'm taking a BNB long here as well. I'm taking a BNB long. It looks very, very good. Massive liquidity built up on top. I think this is bullish. So I'm taking a long here. I'm going to take a long here. Yes. Next level is down here at like 609. If that happens, that's 3%. Going to Bluefin. I'm gonna go on to BNB. I'm gonna build up this position. I'm gonna go 5x. I'm gonna take market order, and I'm gonna start building this position up, something like this. Stop loss down here at 623. Is that 623? I'm gonna take 623 as a stop loss. 623. Cool. That's about 1% on my account, less than a 1% stop loss on my account. I'm gonna build this trade up, but I think this is great. Okay, Doge. Now Doge is a little bit disappointing, honestly. Why? Because it has a massive daily low here, which is, you know, it should be very, very bullish, but it's not really. It's liquidating it down there. So if I would see like a very strong hourly high, which doesn't seem like I'm gonna see now, but this here could be considered that I would take along all the way up here to like 17-ish cents, and then we will look at it. But Doge, I'm not taking it just yet. SUI is a little bit disappointing as well, although on a higher time frame. The reason why is I'm actually going to take a SUI long as well on lower leverage. Like I'm going to take 3x leverage. SUI. So this is, you have to look at this, and this is like a large stop loss, right? 30%. So that means if you go 3x leverage, you lose the entire position. So what you want to do is you want to start building, and I want to understand what's your ultimate risk. You see it down here. My cost is $1,000 in this position, and I'm happy to put $1,000 in this position because if it goes down, $1,000 is my risk. I'm gonna put a stop loss at 199. Is that true? I'm gonna put a stop loss at 199. Let me go look back here. 199 is good, yes. So I'm gonna go here, and if I get stopped, I'm losing about 5% of my account. See, maybe less. Maybe less. I could do a little bit. I'm gonna go 199. I could do a little bit more, to be honest. I'm gonna go a little bit more here. Yes, I think this is also a great position to start building up. I mean, the upside potential here is $5 plus. So like on SUI, I do think the narrative is there. I think Sol is going to take mindshare, but I do think SUI can ride with it as well. I mean, if we look at a 5.4-ish, for example, in this position, looking at 5.4, let me just look at that. That's like 1 to 4 risk reward, so it's definitely worth it for me. It's a beautiful, beautiful trade. Okay, let's look here. What else do we have here? AVAX. AVAX not really. Link. Link is good as well. Look at this. Like beautiful 4-hour recovery. Beautiful on Link. Beautiful. This is also something I'm layering into everything. But this is also what I'm gonna open. I'm gonna open a Link position. Same thing. 3x leverage. 30% stop. Probably take what is it? $1,300 here. And my stop loss is going to be down here at 7.85. No, it's going to be here at 9.9. 9.97 is going to be my stop loss. 9.97. And then again, the potential here, which I'm just showing the risk reward, is back at all-time highs, 30.8. So if I just look and bring this up, 30.8, I'm looking at 5,000, 1 to 5 risk reward. These are the trades. These are the actual trades. You know, this is what people don't understand. We should do a live here. I think I'm gonna do a live show on the 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙 Club, maybe today or tomorrow. So go and subscribe there. I'm gonna do a live show here to explain what I'm really doing. But this is the time when you can really build generational wealth, because yeah, maybe we have a 5 to 10% drop, but in general, these positions that we're taking now, you see it exactly on link. This is like a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful position. Look at this. You have a daily high here. You have a V-shaped recovery on the 4 hour. You have a daily recovery. Like, look at this, a V-shaped daily recovery. It comes back 50. It has liquidity here. It wicks that liquidity. It comes back 50. Beautifully comes back 50%, which markets usually do. And then you start layering in here. I don't know when the bottom is. Maybe can we drop from here another 5, 10%? Yeah, but do I care? No. Why? Because my risk reward says this is a 1 to 5 risk reward trade. If I look at this and I say 30.8, and that is just going back to the previous highs, which were happening when? In December, we're going to see a 1 to 5 risk reward trade. You don't have to take it all the time. You just have to take the right trade. So link is definitely one. I'm taking this as well. I'm going to put the risk reward tool here. Yes, beautiful. And again, all the way back here. Like this is the plan. All the way back here. We're looking at 124%. TRX, not really interested. I think I gave you all the trades. I'm gonna update you also in the Telegram. So I'm posting. This is one of the 𝗙𝗘𝗙 trades we took. So this 𝗙𝗘𝗙 trade, I want to show you this as well, why it's worth joining the Telegram. So this 𝗙𝗘𝗙 trade here, if you look at it, this trade I took here. So like I literally shared it in the Telegram, and I said longed 𝗙𝗘𝗙, Ethena, Avi, Lido, right? I told them exact levels, whatever that might be, and I updated. And look at this. This position was up at 33% almost immediately. And then you go down, 𝗙𝗘𝗙 was strong, you know. I said I'm adding to the position. You still added to the position. So this was when? Saturday. This is Saturday. Adding to the position, building up the position, starting with 1 or 2% of the account, and now up at like, again, like I made on this trade, it's 80%, like almost 6 grand on the account is at $30,000 or something like that. So anyway, you can build these positions up. I'm helping you in the Telegram. We're gonna pin that in the comment section as well, so you will see it along with the 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙 Club. Guys, I think this was it. Truly appreciate you spending time with me here. I'm sad that I couldn't be here in person in live, but I think we're gonna do a live show either today or tomorrow. We are going to do a live show on the 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙 Club, and we're gonna just do live trading, looking at it. Maybe we invite a guest as well. We'll figure it out. Truly appreciate everything you do. Check out the links in the description. Join both in non-KYC available worldwide. Check out these 2 videos. One of them should be a 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙 Club educational video, which you definitely should check out. Click here to subscribe, and I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.